willpower away.
Yeah.
So after that, I stayed there, and then my midwife, I kept, going on and off the shower. And at this point, I just dreamed to go in the bath. It's been like more than a day, like for 30 hours that I wanted to go in the bath. That was ready and all nice. Yeah. I just wanted to go in that bath, and they kept telling me, no, don't go too soon. That may, slow down labor. And so I never been into that bath. And they were telling me you can take shower, but the shower were not much, not as good as a bath. Yeah. I imagine could be, And so at this stage, I was very keen to go into the bath, and nobody wanted me to go to the bath before I was 5 centimeters or something like that. And my midwife started saying maybe we should transfer to the hospital, and for me that was a huge step I didn't want to take. Like I really didn't want to go to the hospital, and because some women hear oral birth story, and to me, they're always related to hospital. It's always happening at the hospital. I never heard a home birth oral story. Never happened. Or even, birth center or more natural, non-medicalized birth story. So, I didn't want to go to the hospital. And eventually, I was like, okay, I can consider going to the hospital, but I don't want to give up the water birth. So I need a bath, Yep. And my midwife, who was really good, and she called all the hospital in Amsterdam, because in Amsterdam you don't even if you plan a hospital birth, you don't know where you're gonna go. It's like last minute, like you're in labor, and then they call and they see where there's a space for you to go. It's not like here. I guess you go and visit the hospital, and
the closest one.
And exactly. You go visit the hospital and meet, I guess, the team or whatever.
Yeah.
But here now it's like really last minute thing, so you never know where you're gonna end up. And she managed to get me the only room. First, it was not even in the hospital. It was in a birth center that was located in the hospital. So that was the plan to go there, so that I could get gas and hair, so that I could maybe try to sleep a bit. Yeah. And if that failed, there was a room like around the corner in the corridor, in the hospital part, that had a pool that would be ready also for me. So we decided to go. So we went to the birth center first. I arrived there, gave me the gas and hair, and I hated it. I was like, that's terrible. I can't. So it's a bit different than what I expected. What I expected in gas and hair that I've seen, it's more like a little like a device tube that you. Yeah, this was not. This was a full-on mask, like if I'm going to the moon or something. that was just really weird already, with the big, the big pump and stuff. I was like, what is that? But also I didn't know, but actually I have a genetic mutation that's not good to have the dioxide. How do you call it? Dioxide carbon? No. How do they call the gas and hair? I don't even know. Sorry. Yeah, nitrous oxide. Sorry. I was like, that's not that. Yeah, exactly. Nitrous oxide is it's bad for you when you have this genetic mutation, and I didn't know. I didn't know that at the time, but maybe that's why I didn't react really well to it. So I just tried a few minutes, and then I gave up. I said, no, that's not happening. And then eventually they were like, okay, maybe we just move to the next to the hospital part, and we see they can monitor you, see what's happening. So we did that. We just, walk 5 meters to the other room. And then they checked me again at this stage, and they were like, because they were talking about Pitocin and, how do you, it's Pitocin.
Syntocin.
Well, but it's the brand. I think it's the brand. It's a different brand, but it's the same thing. Pitocin is like a brand, but yes.
American one.
Yeah.
Syntocin.
Well, they're talking to basically induce me more, like. But before that, they checked me, and I obviously didn't want that. Yeah. And they checked me, and they were like, "Oh, you're 5 centimeters. You can go into the pool." And I was like, "Hallelujah!" Like finally. And so they didn't need to, do the oxytocin. They hold on to that. And I went into the pool, and that was magical. Awesome. I was like, "That's amazing. That's the best." Like, I felt so good. All my back labor pain was off with the warm, and that was actually so good that I stayed there like half an hour, and before they want to check again, because I had only 3 or 4 contractions, but I dilated like 3.5 centimeters in like that little time, and I was like, why did I waited so long to
Yeah.
go into that pool, you know? Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
I should have gone before into that pool, but anyway, so that worked very well, and you know, it's a bit blurred from now on. Like I was in the pool, it was so intense, and it was going on and off, and it went on for hours because I think I went into the pool at like 3 p.m. and he was born at 7:50 p.m. and I just went off the pool like the last half an hour. I had to because I stayed hours in the pool. I pushed him the last stage for 2 hours and 45 minutes. And I think 2 hours in the pool, and then they were like, "I think you need to move. Like something needs to change so that something happened." And that's where I gave up at this stage. I was like, "No, I can't. I can't do anything anymore." I thought I was dying. You know, I had the transition where I really thought I was dying. That was it. I said goodbye to Toby. I was in the pool. I remember I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it. This is it. This is the end. But I was so tired. I forgot I was having a baby. At some point, somebody like a midwife came and was like, "Oh, your baby is doing well," you know, like, because I think that's the worry, you know. That should have been my worry, but I completely forgot I was having a baby. I was so tired. I was in a completely, you know,
hallucinating.
Yeah, hallucinating stage. After the birth, the few days after, when I came back a bit to me, I googled how long can you survive without sleeping.
Yeah.
I really did. I really thought that was like a record somehow.
Yeah.
That was really the lack of sleep for me. The whole labor, that was very, very difficult. But at the end, they did to give me oxytocin like at the end, when I was pushing. They were like, I think because even my midwife, which was a home birth midwife, right? Like, so she specialized in home birth. She stayed with outside the hospital, but she was not in charge anymore. The hospital team was, and she told me she'd never seen somebody, you know, in the pushing stage that was having contractions so far apart and so inconsistent. When he was born, my contractions were like 10 minutes apart. Like, it makes no sense.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably why I pushed him for so long, because I didn't have that many contractions.
Yep.
But he was born eventually. I went out of the pool, and he was born on the stool, you know. So at least I was not laying back like I didn't want to, and he was very healthy and very very awake, and, you know, very there. I also forgot about the placenta, you know, because you're like all so excited. And Woody also has a tongue tie, and he couldn't latch on. So we had problem with breastfeeding as well. But placenta for me was not so much an issue, but because I had I think I had a Pitocin thing. I didn't have a shot, but I had the drip from the end of the birth. So maybe that made a difference. I don't know. But I tore as well and had some stitches, which actually I thought was much more painful than the birth itself. Really? I was like, "What are you doing to me?" Yeah, I was like, "Isn't it enough?" I just gave birth. I just gave birth. Like, give me a minute, you know. Exactly. And they were like, "Oh, what do you want? Do you want the anesthetics local, or do you want?" I'm like, "Or the spray, or like?" I'm like, "Everything." It's out now. I don't care. Give me everything, you know. So that was very painful. I was surprised by this. Really, I was like, "This is not happening." But and I didn't tore that bad at all. Apparently, that was not. And it was much better than the, you know, if they had to cut me. Which at some point in the birth, when I had to go out of the pool and go on the stool, they changed a shift at the hospital. So my super nice hospital midwife that was there the whole time, all day with me, was almost like sleeping on the bath because she was exhausted. As well, like all the rest of my team left, and this new one came just for the end. Really, she was there just for the end. Not that I cared much at this point, you know, but I noticed her, and I noticed that she had this plate next to with, you know, stencil and scissors and stuff, and I just I lost it, and I was like, "You don't cut me, you don't." And I was like screaming, and she was like, no, it's in case the cord is like, I think that she got scared. I really scared her. She was like, no, it's for the cord in case. I'm like, yeah, you better, like, having a look. So yeah, that was the point. But I don't know what it was for. Like maybe it was really for the call, or maybe she had other intention that she had to forget with my screaming. I don't know, but yeah, that was at least I didn't have an episiotomy. I didn't have things I didn't want to have. I really thought that for an hospital birth in the circumstances I had, the best I could have had. Like really, I don't think that a lot of women get that much listened at. I mean, at some point, I remember I was at some point I said, okay, if that doesn't work, I have a C-section, and I don't care. I don't want you to cut me. That was the thing. I didn't want them to come with utensil and start, attacking my baby, or I don't know. And so I just did, and I was, completely out of it at the end. I was like, if that didn't work when I went off the pool, we just do a C-section or whatever. And I remember them all looking at me like, yeah, right. Yeah, right, you're going to have a C-section now. They knew they wouldn't do that. Like, it's just, And maybe some other places that would have been different, right? That would have been like, yeah, you want a C-section, or you want an epidural or whatever, even if they know that the epidural would be too late or something, That wouldn't be, because at some point or so before, I think I asked for an epidural, even if I didn't want it. I was like, yeah, give me anything, I need drugs, I had this stage. And then I was like, anyway, I know I'm too late. I'm already 8 or 9 or whatever, and it's too late. I know it's not going to work. And some places, they would have just jump on it and be like, okay, let's give her all the drugs and everything we can. And I think I wrote, a birth plan. My birth plan was very, very precise on what I want and didn't want, especially in case of, hospital birth like I ended up having. And they were very, very respectful. So the whole way I thought was very good. I just thought the after birth was a bit more hospital-like for me. That, he stayed with me for a while and everybody left. And then, but I was still attached to that drip. And they took hours before, like, taking me off of it. So I was a bit like laying there, and the baby was with Toby, and then they came. They were like, "Oh, he's a bit yellow. Let's put him under the light." So they took him away, and he was put on the light, and I was attached to the bed for hours, and nobody came. And eventually, somebody came. I was like, "Can you please just take me out of that drip, so we can go home?" Because in Holland, you can go home hours after the birth. You just. If you had an uncomplicated birth and everything was fine, you can do that. For us, because my water broke 42 hours before, they were still like, "Oh, you should stay a couple of days." And I was like, "I'm not staying a couple of days here. This is not happening." So they made me sign something. They came and said, "Why you want to..." That was quite funny. The doctor, or pediatrician or specialist came after a while, because we told the nurse that we wanted to leave. And he came and he was like, "Oh, I heard about you." And I was so tired at this stage. I was like, "What did he hear? Like, did he hear me scream? Or, I was like, did he hear me through the walls? Or like, what did he hear?" And it was just about me wanting to leave the hospital against their advice. And I was like, "Yeah, well, I think it would be better at home." The baby was like 3.8 kg, all healthy, and like he was a healthy baby. And although it was a little yellow, that was nothing. I was just, I don't know why they took him. Maybe more like
jaundice.
Yeah, but he didn't have that much. I was really. I think they just took him more as an habit of doing that, to the lights, precaution, yeah. So yeah, they came and said that, and I was like, "Okay, well, tell me, what's the risk of infection if we stay here compared to if we go home?" And then he was like, and I was like, "Yeah, well, so we're going home." So that's about it, because I'm pretty sure there's more risk for a healthy baby to get an infection. He was like, "Yeah, but we don't know if he's not healthy." I'm like, "Well, can you look at him now? Can you just get a check him out, check him?" He's like, "Oh, but I can tell you just looking at him like that, he looks very healthy." I'm like, "Well then, if there's a problem, we come back. I mean, but that's not going to change anything. If he's healthy now, it's not going to, there was no meconium. I never had any issue whatsoever. He never had a heartbeat flick the whole 42 hours. He was completely fine. Yeah. So there was no reason whatsoever for us to stay longer than any other Dutch people would stay in the hospital. So, yeah, we just went back home that night, and then woke up and had a kramzorg, which is another Dutch specialty. So that